You're tuned to Evergreen Media Network. I am Cindy Schwartz, and this is the Patient Partner Show. My co-host, Jeannie Roller, has lent the airtime to my guest today, who is Betty Jo Jacks. Betty Jo Jacks is in Wyoming. This is a 3-part podcast, 3 different women we're talking with, all about the country. This is not a localized program. It is worldwide as far as I know. And it is sad to hear these stories about breast implants, breast cancer that has resulted from the implants, and all kinds of side effects that have resulted in these silicone-shelled saline or silicone implants. If I'm saying that correctly, look us up to get more information, and kudos to these women to come forward with their stories to try to teach us what we can ask for if we decide to have these implants. A lot of them were elective surgery. A lot of women have it as elective surgery. Sadly, there is still societal pressure to put a good front, if you will, on women's bodies. So I want to see that go away. But I've heard so many stories, and like I said, 3 women on. So today, Betty Jo Jacks, you're in Wyoming. Betty Jo, let's talk about some of this and how sad these things have worked out for you, and how sadly implant rejection is for women, and the side effects are just unbelievable. I just can't even put my mind to some of this stuff. So thanks for coming on.
Well, thank you. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me on today. I just would want to start with the question, do we really know our own value? Because if we did, I don't know that any of us would undergo such a traumatic surgery for vanity. And, you know, when it comes to women who get cancers and are pressured into the whole idea that you're not a woman if you don't have breasts, has got to stop. It's a lie. There is too much value put on a device that has known repercussions. I suffered some of the worst off of the list, and the list is too long to mention today in the short time, but I like to sum it all down to implant rejection disorder, because the disorders are going to be out of control, and no one can really say this person will get that or this, the hair falling out, the brain fog. I had liver failure within 2 years. I had a mental breakdown. I went through early menopause. I gained weight. I had chronic hives and rashes. I smelled gas smell in my face, burning my eyes all the time. I would go to doctors and I would get gaslit. Speaking of gaslit, let's talk about the fact that the plastic surgeon who put these in 2003 told me not to pay attention to the women that were crying that they were toxic because they're lying, he said. And he also told me it was a lifetime device. And we've got to set the record straight. I don't believe there's any lifetime device. I can't even keep a lifetime warranty on my vacuum. And you want me to keep a device in my body for the lifetime? It's not a reality. Things break down, they degrade. And that's the biggest problem with silicone. It's a hormonal disruptor. So right away, the eyesight failing, the brain fog, the hormonal changes, I lost my personality. I went to sleep to get boobs. I woke up and I cried, and I looked at myself in a mirror, and I asked God at that point when I got them in 2003 to forgive me. And in 2019, when I got them out, when I felt the night and day difference when those implants came off my chest and I could take my first deep breath in 16 years, I cried out to God. And the person that was there with me said, don't cry, don't cry. I said, I'm just so sorry I did this to my body. Please forgive me, body. And that's where my page on Facebook, Implant Rejection Disorder and Overcoming PTSD, really, I hope it's of value. We got a few, 1,000 women on there, and we're just trying to share that there's a recovery process that most people didn't take in consideration when I got the implants. I never was told there might be a very severe emotional thing with these implants going in and coming out, or the changing of your body. Yeah. So I became, I lost 10 pounds overnight when I got him out. I had yellow eyes. I was jaundiced. And I was constantly gaslit and bullied. And let's talk about that. When a surgeon tells you not to do your due diligence on a device they're putting in your body, that's the biggest red flag of all. They should want you to understand that devices, any antigens, things that go in your body, have an instant immune response if your immune system is working right. Yeah. God forbid you already have an autoimmune like cancer when you get these implants. I had been diagnosed with fibromyalgia in the 93s ish from a job injury, trauma. Traumatic injury causes trauma. Trauma causes illness if it's not addressed. And
Right.
that's what I like to really push out there for the women. It's just not getting the implants out. There's so much more.
Yeah.
There's overcoming what you did to your body and feeling it, knowing when you woke up, you felt life and death difference. I felt like a spirit of death had left my body, and I was a pretty healthy person. I was Wyoming State arm wrestling champ, and when the doctor did my surgery, that was in the 80s. I was the Wyoming arm wrestler, and in 2000s, he said, I didn't anticipate when I went under the muscle what I was dealing with, and I thought I told him I could do 10 pull-ups, I was strong.
Okay.
So he
Yeah.
literally had to he
Yeah.
massacred my chest to even get him in, and then he didn't fill him up all the way.
Yeah.
And I had ripples. It was blotched all the way around. I mean, I want to tell everybody there's a sign to implant rejection, and I believe it's pain. I believe it's the first indicator that your body is saying this isn't okay,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
something's wrong, and we have to address it. We have to learn how to drive our boats better. We're trusting the sea, and you can't trust the doctor. I mean, I hate to say that. There's good doctors and they do great things, but when it comes to the cosmetic surgeons, they're seeing dollar signs, or they would have given. Thank God we got the black box warning now, but we don't see the box, so it's almost a slap in our face.
Yeah. Well,
no one's going to show you the box.
Yeah, well, I'm with you. There are so many good doctors, and sadly, there are ones that, aren't as good as some of the other ones. And you don't know that as the patient, and you try to ask the questions, and the informed consent keeps coming back into my mind. It's ratcheting around in my mind going, well, I didn't know everything as the patient. That's what you're saying. You don't know everything, and you're trying to do the best thing for yourself. Okay, I get it. It's elective surgery, but you have that surgery available. It should be the top-notch thing that's being done to me. And you know what I think, too?
Absolutely.
You know what I think, too, Betty Jo? This is going to sound silly, but I do work on my house and whatever, and I know when I use silicone caulking, like around the windows, it's very pungent. And I'm thinking, talking with you women, that what in the world is that a solution for a body part? It's just crazy.
It should never be.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
No, because that smell I smelt in my nose. I mean, I literally got bullied by doctors going like, there's nothing wrong. I said, I smell like a gas in my face. And it was the degradation of the silicone implants. And because I did have a hypersensitive body, I was immune responsive. I did, those silicone implants started to dissolve the minute they went in. My body started, putting the capsule around it and taking all my energy that I should have had to raise my, to finish my life. I was fighting to stay alive, and that's not a quality of life when you're fighting just to live every day.
I hear you.
Joints hurt.
Yeah, on the 2 minutes that we have left, what would you tell women right now about the implants to know if they want to do them or not? And real quick, your information, your contact information, or whatever Facebook you want to put out there, any kind of social media.
Right. I just want to say, why do we want to be experimenting? But why don't we love ourselves? Let's have self-love and health. They go together. We've got to learn to love ourselves. The option is, it's not good. We have to realize there's implant rejection, and you've got to seek help. We've got to, either before the idea of getting the implants, like, why do I want this? Maybe I do need to get in counseling here. The EMDR therapy for the PTSD really helped me. And I believe we've got to focus on why we would want to cut these bodies. They don't want to be cut open. And I share a lot of stuff like that, because implant rejection disorder can be root canals or meshes or clips or anything. And it's on Facebook at Implant Rejection Disorder and Overcoming PTSD Due to Implants, or you can find me on the Wyoming hippie Betty Jo Jacks on TikTok, and I talk about it all the time.
Okay. And I'll get your information when we go off air. Betty Jo and I will post it on each of the podcasts so people can follow up with any of the ladies or all of the ladies that they want to, if you have any questions at all. But I appreciate you doing this. It's horrific stories. I am so sorry that still in this day and age that there's societal pressures for women to have to do this. And the men suffer too. We've talked that on other shows too, because they're the spouses or the boyfriends or brothers, whatever, of these women. On that note, stay listening to Evergreen Media Network.